Good night, everybody. John Gaffney. Tonight I'm going to be giving a speech on my favorite band, the Black Crowes, and hopefully by the end of the speech, you guys will want to give them a listen once you go home. Black Crowes are my favorite band. I started listening to them probably my sophomore year of high school when my dad went to go to their reunion concert. They went on a 3-year hiatus and went to go see them in Hammerside Ballroom. This is a picture of them at actually the Hammerside Ballroom when he went there. And the relationship between me and my dad is like very, it's kind of like the way we bond is through music. He always would tell me to go listen to things, and that's basically, I listen to whatever he used to listen to as a little kid. Even till today, we have the same musical taste. So when he went to go see them, he was listening to all their CDs. It was kind of, renewing when he used to go see them and listen to them. So when he was doing that, I basically, gave him a huge listen, and I was totally into it. And that summer, going into junior year of high school, I went down to Atlantic City to go see him at the Borgata Casino. And ever since then, I've seen them 17 times. And every time, I think probably around 14 or 15 times I've been with my dad. Other times we bring people. It takes a little bit getting used to. I'll explain why later. But, they seem to have a fun time when they go too. So now I'm going to give you, oh, that's not good. Oh, sorry, I don't know why I did that. Oh, yeah.
Hit the arrow.
Arrow?
Yeah.
Alright. Black Crowes are an American rock band. They're originally from Atlanta, Georgia. They were formed as Mr. Crow's Garden when they got signed by Def American Records. Originally when they got signed, the lead singer says that they wanted their name to be the Stinky Toes, but got changed to the Black Crowes. And they got signed with Def American Records to let out their first record called Shake Your Money Maker. Ever since they signed with Def American Records, they've been on labels such as Columbia, V2, and today they're on the label Silver Arrow. Their influences are Otis Redding, The Faces, the Rolling Stones, and Buddy Guy. They've played with bands such as Led Zeppelin. They actually did a live album with Led Zeppelin. They did 2 shows, one in New York, one in Los Angeles with the guitarist Jimmy Page, which is pretty big. They've also played with ZZ Top, Aerosmith, Dave Matthews Band, and Oasis. Actually, once they got signed by Def American Records, they went on tour with ZZ Top. And I guess the Black Crowes have been known to be very vocal with what their opinion is. They're very vocal with, they're very huge supporters of the legalization of weed. They're not to, I guess, be, weird about it, but they actually do back it up. They're on all the things, all the campaigns for it. So when they went on their first actual tour with ZZ Top, they got kicked off after the first concert because they went on stage and started knocking down Miller Lite, which was the sponsor to the tour that they were on. Alright. Oh man, this is really. Members. Ever since 1984 when they were formed, they have had 10 different members go throughout the band. They haven't really had a set group of members in the band. They've gone through 3 guitarists. One was actually my favorite guitarist. His name was Mark Ford. He's not in the band anymore. But there's been 2 members. Now I'll show you all the guys that are actually in the band. As you see, they look like a bunch of woodsmen now compared to when they were on the Rolling Stone. Alright, Chris and Rick Robinson, the 2 brothers, have been the only 2 people that have stayed in the band since 1984. Chris Robinson, the one on your guys' right, is the lead singer. He was one time married to Kate Hudson, He has two kids with them, Ryder and I forget the other name. But he also has had different projects for like Chris Robinson, New Earth Mud. Right now he's in something because the band is actually on another hiatus right now, called the Chris Robinson Brotherhood. Rich Robinson is his brother. He is a rhythm guitarist and also vocalist for the band. Luther Dickinson is the newest addition to the Black Crowes. He was at one time in North Mississippi All-Star Band. He's the lead guitarist. He's a great slide player. As you see, this was him when he was actually in North Mississippi All-Stars. Now, I think the woodsman aspect of the Black Crowes kind of got to him. He's all facial hair, everything now. He joined the band in 2006 when they came back from their 3-year hiatus to make an album called Warpaint. Alright, Sven Pipen is the bassist currently. He joined the band in 1999. He's actually from Germany. He has a very heavy accent, and he's been in the band since 1999. Steve Gorman is probably the closest thing to like the most constant member of the band. He has been in the band since 1984, but wasn't in the band for like a year in 2004. But he's the drummer for the band. He also has a radio show called Steve Gorman Sports. He's like a big sports fanatic, but he's probably the closest thing to the constant band member. Adam McDougall, if they got rid of as many members of the band, it's always a different keyboardist. This guy just came into the band. Not much about him besides he's a keyboardist, and I guess they're very easy to replace. Alright. I guess a lot of people, if they know who the Black Crowes are, it's because of the song Hard to Handle. It was an Otis Redding song. It's got like the catchy, chorus line to it, but I actually hate the song. Doesn't portray who actually the Black Crowes are. But once you go see them in concert, you get a completely different experience. That's why I love going to see. That's why I love the band, because their songs go from being a 3-minute song to being an 18-minute song. It's kind of like going to see the Allman Brothers, something like that. But it's awesome just to see the band. They all look like they're just playing together, and it's a lot of fun. These are the 9 records, studio records that they have. They also have 4 live records, the one I mentioned before with Led Zeppelin. The reason I want to show them is because if you see, this is their first record. It's all in time order. The first record is when they first got signed, and if you listen to the albums, then you really get a picture of how much they've matured and changed as a band. Where this is much more of a studio album. So this actually is an album that they recorded live in front of an audience in a week span. And it's still considered a studio album. This is the one all the way to your right is the latest one that came out this summer. It's an all acoustic album. That's what I wanted to show with the difference, how they matured. And Black Crowes really, they've created all the experiences that I can ask for. Every time I go to a concert, it's always a different group of people, and hopefully after this, you'd be curious and go give them a listen.